وأذن في الناس بالحج يأتوك رجالا وعلى كل ضامر يأتين من كل فج عميق.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. In this lesson, inshallah, we're going to begin Al-Bab Al-Awwal, the first subchapter, في مقدمات الحج, discussing the introductory matters related to Hajj. وفيه مسائل, and under this subchapter we're going to speak about some issues. So mas'ala is an issue, a single issue. Masail is the plural. So there's more than one issue that's going to be discussed under this subchapter. Al-Mas'alatul Ula, the first issue, and this is the focus of today's lesson, inshallah. في تعريف الحج is going to discuss the definition of Hajj. We're going to speak about Hajj. What does it mean? Definitions are two types. We have linguistic definitions and we have legislative definition. Linguistic definitions are definitions of words according to the usage of the people of that language. So what does Hajj mean according to the Arabs? Then the legislative definition is the definition of the word according to the Sharia, which is what does it mean according to the Quran and the Sunnah. In the Quran and the Sunnah, when Hajj is mentioned, what does it mean? So let's begin with the linguistic definition. Al-Hajj fi al-lugha, Hajj in the Arabic language, means al-qasd. Al-qasd, which is to head to a particular place, go to a particular place. Yeah, going to a particular place or heading towards a particular place. This is what Al-Hajj means, Al-Qasd. So for example, Hajjajtu al-Masjid, I went to the masjid. Hajja ilayya fulan, someone came to me. That's the linguistic definition, to go to a particular place. وفي الشرع, and in the legislative definition, and we said this is the focus of the definition, this is the more important of the two. What does Hajj mean in the Sharia according to the Quran and the Sunnah? Al-Hajj, according to the Sharia, التعبد لله, it is a form of worship of Allah. بأداء المناسك, by performing certain rituals. في مكان مخصوص, at a specific location. في وقت مخصوص, during a specific time. على ما جاء في سنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, in line with that which has come in the Sunnah of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. Once again, Al-Hajj in the Sharia is a form of worship of Allah. We are worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala by ada'il manasik, performing certain rituals. These are the rituals which are related to Hajj, such as performing tawaf, going around the Kaaba, sa'i, going between the two mountains, Safa and Marwa. It also includes spending the day on the 8th in Mina, and then going to Arafah on the 9th, and then spending the night of the 9th in Muzdalifah, and then stoning, and then sacrificing an animal, and then shaving the head, and so on. So the rituals, we're going to speak about these in more details, inshallah. So this, for now, just know that there are certain rituals that have to be performed, and these rituals are performed as a form of worship. These rituals are performed at a specific location, makan makhsus. Specific location here refers to the haram. These acts of worship are performed in the haram, which is the sacred sanctuary or the sacred territory. And it also includes Arafah, which is not part of the haram, it's just outside it. So the sacred territory and also the Arafah. It also includes Arafah. The scholars refer to it as Al-Mash'ar. Al-Mash'ar. So haram wal-Mash'ar, or Masha'ir, the plural of it. So the Masha'ir includes Muzdalifah, which is part of the haram, and Arafah, which is just outside the haram. So makan makhsus is the haram and also Arafah. في وقت مخصوص, at a specific time. Specific time refers to the months of Hajj, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Al-Hajju ashhurum ma'lumat. Hajj is performed at specified months, during specified months. So the specified months, other scholars have clarified, is Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, and then the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. these 2 months and 10 days which come in succession, Shawwal, then Dhul Qa'dah, then the first 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. These are known as the Ashhurul Hajj. Ashhurul Hajj, the months of performing Hajj. And when we say these are the months of performing Hajj, it doesn't mean that you can go and perform your Hajj in Shawwal and then come back home, or go and perform your Hajj in Dhul Qa'dah and come back home. What it means is that you can initiate your Hajj in Shawwal or any time during these days, so long as it's before the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, because you can't miss the Arafah, which is the key pillar of Hajj. So you can initiate your Hajj during these days of these months by entering into Ihram. طيب, that's what it means. It doesn't mean that you can complete your Hajj. So maybe if you initiate your Hajj, enter into the state of Ihram in Shawwal, you would remain in that state until the 8th, and then you go begin the actual rituals. So you go Mina, then you go the next day to Arafah, then spend the night in Muzdalifah, then go stone, then sacrifice. And once you've shaved your head, you can come out of the state of Ihram. But usually what people do is they don't enter into Ihram in Shawwal, because if you enter into Ihram early, it means you're going to be restricted. Because when a person enters into the state of Ihram, as we're going to learn, certain things become haram upon you, which you are usually halal. These things are usually halal, but once you enter into the state of Ihram, they become haram upon you, such as wearing fitted clothing, wearing shoes, covering your head, engaging in sexual intercourse, hunting, proposing, carrying out marriage contracts, and so on. طيب, these things become haram upon you. So if you enter into the state of Ihram in Shawwal, you have to remain in that state. These things become haram upon you all the way until you complete your Hajj. So what people usually do is they wait until close towards the 8th of Dhul Hijjah, and then they enter into the state of Ihram, and then they perform the actual rituals of Hajj. طيب. So Makan Makhsus, we have spoken about that. Makan Makhsus is specific places for performing the rituals. And the rituals themselves, each individual ritual has its own specific location. So going around the Kaaba has to be around the Kaaba. Yani Tawaf has to be around the Kaaba. Sa'i has to be between Safa and Marwa. Throwing the stones has to be in Mina. Spending the day in worship of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has, on the 9th of Dhul Hijjah, has to be in Arafah, and so on. So generally the Haram is where you perform the rituals of Hajj, but each specific ritual has its own specific location within that sanctuary or the sacred territory. And likewise, the general timing for performing Hajj is the 2 months, Shawwal, Dhul Qa'dah, and the 10 days of Dhul Hijjah. But each ritual has its own specific time, which you have to do within that time. Like standing in Arafah has to be on the 9th. You can't miss it on the 9th. You can't perform it on the 8th or the 10th, and so on. طيب, we're going to speak about these in more detail, inshallah. على ما جاء في سنة رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, in line with that which has come in the sunnah of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم. And this is important because the command of performing Hajj, although it's mentioned in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't specify how we perform Hajj. He has left that to His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So we find the details of where to go, what to do, when to do it in the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And he is the one who said, "Khudhu anni manasikakum." Take your rituals of Hajj from me, learn from me, and perform your Hajj the way I have performed it. طيب. So from this definition, we can exclude the Hajj which is performed by the Rafidah, the extreme Shia, who do not do it at Makan Makhsus, the sacred territory in Mecca. Where do they perform their Hajj? They perform their Hajj in Iran, all the way in Najaf, in Iran. So this is not a Shar'i Hajj. It's not an acceptable legislative Hajj, because they have gone against this condition in the definition. Makan Makhsus, they've done it at a different location. Likewise, the Hajj of the Sufis, who perform the Hajj by visiting the grave of Hud, which they claim is the grave of Hud in Hadramaut in Yemen. There's no basis to this claim. So they perform Hajj there. And from the things which they do is they go around the grave, subhanAllah. They go around the grave rather than going around the Kaaba in the in the haram, they go around the grave in Hadramaut. A'udhu billah. We can also exclude a person who performs Hajj outside of the Ashhur al-Hurum. If someone goes and says, okay, Ramadan is the most beloved month and deeds are multiplied, I'm going to perform Hajj in this month. Is that going to be accepted from him? It's not going to be accepted, because Al-Hajju Ashhurum Ma'lumat, it has specified months, and Ramadan is not one of those months. طيب, it's important to understand this definition, and we're going to build on and understand this definition further, because we're going to clarify what's manasik, when what these actual rituals are, each individual one, how to perform them, when to perform them, where to perform them, and the conditions and so on, inshallah, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So this is our lesson for today, and the focus was defining what Hajj is in the Sharia according to the Quran and the Sunnah. Hopefully that's understood. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.